Okay, good evening. I'm about to hit our live button real quick. Let's go and see. I was already ready today. I was logged in and everything. Okay.
Love it.
Hold on. Oh, we live. Can somebody check for me real quick? So good evening, ladies.
Good evening.
Sisters on the
Good
call.
evening. Good
Good
evening.
evening.
How's everybody doing today?
Good, good,
Everybody
good.
good?
Amazing.
Good. Well, it's so good to see you guys. You know, it's always a pleasure. I want to real quick, you guys, our audience, we have Miss Ariesa J as our host today. As you know, this is Sis Be Real, where we talk about real situations, real life, real everything. We're going to tell you the good, the bad, the ugly. We're going to just keep it real overall. So I'm going to hand it off to our good sis, Ariesa. Ariesa, go ahead and take it away, sis.
Yes, thank you, Sister Sharita. Thank you for just putting all of this together.
Yeah.
This is an amazing platform, ladies. And I definitely look
They not all
forward
on you.
to my Friday
It's
nights,
going
right?
up.
I can be anywhere doing anything. And
Mhm.
Friday nights on this platform just does something for me. So tonight's topic, as you guys may or may not know, is at what point did you know it was time to be a CEO? Right? When did you know it was time to boss up, be your own boss, write your own checks, take control of your life, take control of your destiny, and do what you got to do for your last name? So I am definitely super excited for tonight's topic. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone's point of view, hearing everyone's story, and seeing where life has taken you thus far in your entrepreneurial journey. And if you're not an entrepreneur yet and you aspire to be an entrepreneur, you'll get to get an insight from all of us on what it means to be your own boss, the ups, downs, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's just dive in to our first question of the night. Now, this is for anyone can go first, right? So the first question is, can you share your personal journey and how you realized that you wanted to become an entrepreneur?
I guess
Anyone can go first.
I'll go. I was hoping Kelly was gonna unmute.
I was about to.
It's okay. It's okay. You can go next. Sis. So my journey to entrepreneurship, I would say was something that was like deep rooted in me a long time ago. Not too many people know my very first business was a jewelry business called Diva's Treasure, where I purchased wholesale jewelry and sold it, like all the latest necklaces and earrings and stuff. I did that while working full time just to make some extra little money. It was just something fun to do. Meet a lot of people, do pop-up shops, and things. It was just fun as a hobby at that point. Years passed, I'm still working in different industries and customer service. And I got to my very last corporate job at the VA. And I'm sitting there at this time, I'm now married. I have, these 6 kids in the house. I have a completely different life. And that job just wasn't doing it for me. Like, because I had that little entrepreneur chip on my shoulder this entire time, it kind of like at that time grew into something else, like a desire to build something for myself, to be able to leave a legacy for my children, get to the point where I was financially free. And also it was stuff that I wanted to do, like that I wanted to do on my own terms without having to go ask permission to be off. And the crazy office corporate like politics in the office, who's been here the longest. You have racial issues in the office. I was like one of the only Black people in my office. Y'all don't know that, but so I felt all of that, and it just really made me look at working a 9 to 5 totally different. So fast forward 3 years at the VA. Year 4, I just had enough. This was during COVID. I was just like, got an email on the VPN, email at work at home, and they was like, come back to work. And at the time, the kids were still homeschooling, the virtual school, and I just wasn't ready to leave that responsibility on somebody else in my house. It wasn't going down like that. So at that time, I had April the 6th. I'll never forget. I woke up that day really different. Maybe I don't know what it was. It was a lot of courage in me. I don't know what I dreamt about that night, but they got that good old email the next morning, like effective immediately. Immediately, I am no longer a VA employee, and I'll return y'all this keyboard this week. Period. Logged off, and I felt so absolutely great. I'm gonna leave it at there, and I'll answer any of the questions later. But that's my journey.
Good for you, sis. Good for you. For me, all my life, I've always known that I never wanted to work for anybody. As a young child in school, I used to sell candy. Y'all, I was breaking rules in school because I just always wanted my own money, and I have a hard time with following rules. Y'all know this, and I have a hard time with just listening to people, and I never wanted to work for no one. I can remember my first job ever was at Walmart, and y'all, I remember cursing out the manager. I remember walking out, like the moment when they told me to do something, I couldn't take it, and I went deuces. And it was like that for a long time. So I started just doing little things that I enjoy doing, like hair and just making things, just being really creative, doing weddings, anything that I thought that would make me a little extra cash, just so I wouldn't be in a position to have to clock in. And I just wanted to work on my own terms and be able to be in my children's life. But eventually I had to go back into the work industry. And when I came into the tax industry, that first season, I knew right after that first season that this industry was going to make me a whole lot of money, and that I did not have to work at all with everything that falls under the umbrella of taxes also. So really, I would never work for no one ever again, so that's me. Next.
Yes, Kayla.
Good evening. My story is actually a little bit different than Sharita's and Kelly's. I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. Never thought about being an entrepreneur. It was ingrained, go to school, get a good job, work, make a lot of money, and take care of your family. So not until, like Sharita said, I don't know if I had a dream the night before or what it was, but I was supposed to go out of town for business. And I looked at the tax industry itself as a side business, never nothing to do full time. And they said that if I take off one more day, then no, matter of fact, they said you cannot have that one day off. You can have 4 of the days off, but day number 5, you couldn't have off. And so I politely went into my supervisor's office and said, I no longer want to work here. And she said, well, I knew this time would come eventually. I just didn't know it was going to be soon. I said, I didn't know it was going to be today either. So I had to really realize that I didn't have the freedom that I wanted to have. And I had already promised myself the year before that if I could make what I make at my 9-to-5 job, I had promised God that I would quit my job. I doubled that income. I doubled that income in the first quarter of the year. So that was just confirmation that I had to actually step out on faith and do what I had to do. But no, I had no intentions ever of being a CEO, multiple degrees. I just thought that you're supposed to live paycheck to paycheck and take care of your family. But as time progressed and networking and learning personally my own self-development, I realized that it's much more to life than that.
Okay, I go next. Before you even call me, Ariesa, I'm gonna go ahead and get it out the way, honey. Okay, so my journey, I was in the casino industry for 14 years, and I was always brought up in a family where you had to work, and they didn't believe in being your own boss or starting your own business. That was like not really in my family. Like, I have family that do it, but they still work, so just like everybody else, going through the same thing, the whole politics and favoritism. And I was, pretty in a high position for my age and my race. I got a lot of slack and I got a lot of people coming after me, and I was feeling that. So I decided that I wasn't going to work this job anymore, and I just walked away from it and didn't have no money saved, no nothing. And I've always done taxes on the side. That's always been like my side hustle. And so I was like, well, I might as well just make this a full-time thing, because I do have that kind of experience on my underneath my belt. So, and I've been doing entrepreneur since then. It was like right before COVID hit. So I went through the whole COVID season like barely making it, but I made it and I'm here. So after that, it's been great ever since. So that's how I knew it was time that I'm ready to be my own boss.
My turn. Last but not least, I knew at an early age that I was supposed to be like an
Sis,
entrepreneur.
we
So
can't hear you.
hear me.
You sound muffled when you got your headphones on, sis.
Can you hear me now?
It's
Little
still
bit better.
muffled.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm sorry. I said I knew that like at an early age, like Kelly said, I was the kid at school, like orchestrating all the other little kids, like one of my friends' moms had the Sam's account, so we'd give her the money, and she would go buy a big box of Suckers or candy bars, and we would side hustling, and teachers started hating on us. So I experienced the entrepreneur blues at an early age, but also my grandpa was a brick mason, and he was like disabled, and they stressed it to me that nobody was supposed to know what Papa really did. And it was like under the table work and stuff. And he would have his little truckload of guys, and every Friday they would come in and he would pay them. And I was good at math, so I would get to figure up everybody's paycheck and how much they were supposed to make. So like flash forward to like me graduating from high school, I learned how to do taxes. My aunt was the tax lady. She neighborhoods taxes and stuff, and she knew that I was good in math, so she was like, I'm gonna show you how to do this. And so that's what started me to doing taxes and stuff. But really, like, I couldn't keep a job. It was like I would be doing real good at the job, but I'd always be late, or I'd be doing real good at the job, but I could only get so far, and then here come like a stupid manager or somebody like new management or something would happen. Like, I couldn't get to my kids' stuff. My kids are active in football, basketball, all this stuff, and I couldn't get to their stuff. And so I remember getting fired. Every time that I got fired, it's like a little flashback that the devil just replay for me when I'm at a, like, remember that time they fired you from that good job? Like, yeah, it's about to happen again type stuff. But I remember getting fired from working at the mental hospital, and it was like the best paying job I had as a CNA. It was the most laid back job, and they was like, we gotta let you go. I remember just crying in the car, and I was like, God, I gotta do something. I gotta do something. Then getting fired again, moving my family all the way to San Antonio, Texas, and then getting just fired. That was like heartbreaking and stuff. So it was all those letdowns, and the Lord just kept closing those doors every time I tried to create them. That I was like, okay, I'm gonna write down what I want my tax office to be, and then just scrolling through Facebook, I stumbled upon our franchise and stuff. So I know that I can't like turn back now. Like I can't work nobody's regular job. I just can't. I'm unemployable. Is that a word?
Yes.
It's a word, sis.
So for me, I'm like a little bit like Kayla. I did not know I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I never thought about being an entrepreneur. Like I literally couldn't sell water to the well, right? But entrepreneurship just kind of dropped in my lap, and I wasn't looking for an opportunity. I wasn't looking to become a business owner. It's just that I was in a situation where it kind of made sense. And I got sick and tired of working 3 jobs. I got sick and tired of having to travel 3 hours one way on public transportation to get to a job. I got sick and tired of having to work 90 plus hours a week and not having time with my children. So when I found my first business opportunity, it was kind of like, okay, this must be a sign, because I'm like, I was praying, I'm like, God, okay, what's next? And when that sign happened, I just took a leap of faith. And with that first business opportunity, I just fired all 3 of my jobs and never looked back. So that was the best thing that ever happened to me, being in a place of adversity and just taking a leap of faith, never experiencing entrepreneurship. And now I'm here. So the second question, ladies, is what specific experiences or moments in your life led you to the decision to pursue entrepreneurship?
Well, mine was just me attending, the workshop that Kayla had. And that's when I just knew right then and there, like, this opportunity that she was proposing at the time was a good opportunity for me. And it helped me in my business and my side hustle. So yeah, that's when I knew right there.
I'll go next. For me, it was coming up in just coming up, period, in a household where it was 8 of us. I saw somebody that worked full time all the time, and I still feel like while it was, what she knew how to do and was taught to do, I don't feel like I saw her happy. And so that always played in my mind when I went to jobs and worked, like just not being happy at the end of the day. But this is something that you have to do to provide. That feeling of happiness not being at the end was what really always kept entrepreneurship close and near and dear to my heart, because I just knew it had to be another way to live. Like this struggle mentality, this struggle that I see, amongst my aunties, my uncle, my sisters, and all these people. This can't be life. Like, just couldn't be life. And as an adult, I got to see that, that was part of my life, but I wasn't gonna let it just stay there. That wasn't it for me. So having that passion that it was something else more for me, from that very early on, those experiences, I think, is something that was very important in making me realize that I had to do something different. And entrepreneurship was just that's something different. 'Cause we didn't have that example of anybody out there pursuing their dreams or doing something that they love to be able to earn money. It was always something I'm just gonna settle for this job. So that was what it was for me.
I'll go next. For me, and I just know it's because I'm not a morning person, and I really hated getting up early in the morning and going to this job that I truly hated. And I can remember a specific time when it was like, screw it, I don't want to work here anymore, is when, and I actually got fired from this job because me and a coworker had a disagreement, and she threatened me, but they fired me because someone lied and said I said something. And yeah, and that was like just really big for me. That moment right there, I was like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. Besides everything else that falls along that line of having someone to tell you when or when not, that you could have this job, and they taking up for this person here over my word. So it just wasn't no fairness in the industry that I was working in. And I hated getting up in the morning anyway. I hated it. I hate getting up in the morning right now, but I can get up anytime I want right now. So yeah, period. Next.
For me, it was that one particular moment I had reiterated about my supervisor. But even prior to that, leading up to that, people at work started acting different. They just started acting funny style. Like anytime you pick up your phone, they will say, "Oh, she must be doing something on her business." Like, no, I'm answering my phone. Or anytime you check an email and they start, just noticing the change in you, and they realize that you didn't have to, I don't know if I can cuss, but kiss they ass in order to survive. So with that being said, people started moving funny and started acting funny because they realized that my livelihood wasn't no longer attached to that job. So even though I love my job and I love my clients, it was my coworkers who actually made me miserable. They made me very uncomfortable because I no longer had to be a part of the crowd, or in order to get by every single day. So it was like God was forcing me to just say, you know what, this is it. And my mindset was not there. That came with time, that I realized that you don't have to work a job in order to be successful, that you can grow in so many other ways, and you just have to learn how to budget and so on and so forth. But it just was a build up and build up until that one day I basically said, y'all can kiss my ass.
Yeah, for me the failure was like motivation and fired. Like I was saying, I kept getting fired. When I remember times day from Jackson Hewitt, and I was like killing it, like in San Antonio, Texas, like one of the top 5 people, and I didn't know anybody out there. I was like being a really like go-getter for their brand. And like I remember being getting off of work, having to like ride the bus back to our apartment. We were sharing an apartment with one of my friends that had like already been out there, and my kids, like my little girl was probably about 3 at the time. She was like, "Oh, mama, there's your business. There's your business on TV." And it was a Jackson Hewitt commercial. And I was like, oh my God, like she knows that she's understanding like what's going on. So I gotta make this time. Then like I said, missing stuff with my kids. Um and then just the feeling of failure. Like when I came back to North Carolina, um that was my whole motivation. Like I'm gonna prove everybody wrong, everybody that said that I wasn't gonna make it and I wasn't gonna do this. I started like referring to myself as a future millionaire, like all the time using hashtag future millionaire and talking about what my life was gonna be like, and it's like literally like that now. So I just use that failure and like everybody's doubt and stuff to motivate me to just like get that time freedom, that you know where I could go and come whenever I wanted to, and I could, be a blessing to whoever I wanted to.
Who left, y'all?
The host?
Did you go, sis? You went,
It's
Sharita?
Aisha.
No, Aisha went.
Okay, so I guess it's on me.
Yeah.
So with me, one thing I would say is you gotta definitely be careful when you pray to God, because when you pray it, He definitely makes you uncomfortable. So with me, a week before I decided I was gonna fire my job, everything literally just started to fall apart or fall into place, right? At one of my jobs at the nursing home, it got infested with bed bugs. And I'm like, oh no, I can't, I'm not taking bed bugs to my house. So that kind of like scared me. Another job that I was working at a stadium, I got into it with one of my coworkers. She showed up at my house. We almost fought. I got fired. So everything just kind of started getting shaken up. And then that same week, I met a young lady who became my mentor and now became my best friend. And she told me about fixing my credit while earning extra income. And to me, that was just like God saying, you were praying for opportunity. This is it. So, that's what led to me now saying, okay, let me just take this leap of faith. So that, along with everything that was falling into place, is what led me to entrepreneurship. All right, so next question. Were there any particular skills, passions, or strengths that you identified in yourself that made you confident in your ability to be an entrepreneur?
Oh, I'm going first.
Oh,
I absolutely love money for one. Like, you gotta know we all about the bag, right? Every single last one of us on here. If they tell you anything otherwise, they lying. Look, we know money gonna get you everything that we want, that we need to, you know, we need it. We know you gotta need it. So I had a knack for numbers. I had like math was my favorite subject. I never knew that it was gonna be part of what I decided to do as an entrepreneurship, but I always had that in me. Another thing that was skill that was in me that I developed after working certain jobs that were like placed in my path, I'll say that, is learning how to be relatable to people, talk to people, build rapport with people, build relationships with people. So very important. I didn't know at the time that I was gonna need that, but I did. And then just having a unwavering drive, like it may show up in so many different ways, but just having the drive to keep going, to keep trying different things, helped lead me to where I decided on one particular field, which happens to be financial services. And looking back, every single job that I had, the one in banking, the one in sales, the one in at the VA where I was learning how to work with certain kind of people, they all meant something now. They mean a lot now because it's what I needed to be able to run my own business in the fashion that I wanted to. We got to see in different jobs how not to treat people as employees, or different policies and things that are in place that we didn't want to have in our businesses. I paid attention to all of that because it was being revealed to me for a reason. I didn't know at the time, but now it all makes sense. So definitely pay attention to the jobs that are placed in your path because you got those jobs for a reason. It's just not by coincidence. It's you pray for something and things are just going to manifest themselves, and it's something you are supposed to take from it. And those were my things that I noticed that now I'm so glad I had those jobs. I'm so glad I got fired from them too. I ain't gonna even lie. The ones that I did get fired from, it just helped me get to get to my destination a little faster. So
I think the skill that I have, like helping people, I like to help people. So, and people are either like drawn to me or I just completely annoy them and they go the other way. So that works good for me in business and in life because, who's for me is going to, come to me. And the other ones is gonna flee and with their own little stories and stuff. So I learned, at an early age that I could talk to people, I could help people, and I liked helping people. Like I really like get a kick out of helping other people and seeing people like succeed. Like I'm that friend that's gonna be like, yeah, go girl, go. So that and my love for like numbers and stuff. I always like math. I always been real good at math. So talking to people, helping them get more money and doing math, that's right up my alley.
Okay, so when I learned my passion, I like math too, as everybody else. Like we all on here probably like math because we wouldn't be in the field that we in. Y'all don't like math? Oh my God, I love math. Like I love math.
I went
Well,
to
back when I was
calculus,
younger,
trigonometry.
I love math. So that's probably where I'm at now. But yeah, every job that I had, I pretty much worked with numbers. So with my side hustle and turning it into a full-time business, it just only made sense. But like the other lady said, I took, experiences and rules and things that I didn't want to do to not implement them in my business as well. But my passion to help people and to see the expression on people's faces when I'm, helping them and things like that, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm doing something to help, people in the world. And, they always, drawn to me, and I always have a positive energy and good spirit when I'm talking to them or when I'm around them. So I just knew, like, right then and there, like, being an entrepreneur is, the way to go for me.
Okay, I'll go next. Yeah, for me, I've just always enjoyed helping people. I knew that I was great with my hands. Just whatever it was, whether I was cooking, doing hair. So, that was just a huge passion of mine, just doing stuff, just always doing stuff. So by me being great with my hands and love doing hair, I went to beauty school, and when got my cosmetology license, I opened my own hair salon. And then that's when I realized I actually hate doing hair once I opened a salon. Because I don't want to stand on my feet. It was just too much work. So I came to a conclusion, I wanted to make a whole lot of money, but work as little as possible. What can I do that's gonna do that for me? What can I do that's gonna do that for me? And no, I hate math. But I love money. I love money. So I wanted to make a lot of money, but work just a little bit. And taxes was the thing, for me. And I became really great at it. I actually started doing taxes about 15 years ago. I was doing taxes, just family and friends, not even charging them, and just doing it. And so it was always something that was underneath my belt. And when this opportunity came to me, I just jumped on it, and I didn't ask any questions because I was able to get my money and not run behind anyone for it. So it just made sense. And and it all ties into one. I'm using my hands because I'm typing. I'm working as little as possible, and I'm able to help the community. So it just is makes sense. Kayla.
Ariesa,
For
what
me,
question
go,
again? What was the question?
the question was, were there any particular skills, passions, or strengths that you identified in yourself that made you confident in your ability to be an entrepreneur?
Yes. So I would say, just like the other ladies, I love helping people. So I think that kind of worked out in my favor. Because you do get a joy, being able to help somebody get money that they weren't, typically privy to, especially when it comes to the taxes, when it comes to the tax season. And I also realized that I'm a researcher. I never liked math. Math was never a passion of mine, but I liked to research. And when I started in the tax industry, I realized it was not just data entry, just putting in numbers and you get a number and boom, you get a magic tax return. I realized that it was a lot that came behind that. So me being the type of person that I am, I kind of feel like it kind of let me use my social work degree, because that's what I have my master's in, is social work. And then my bachelor's is in criminal justice. So I'm like, hey, I can keep people out of jail if I do the stuff the right way, teach them actually how taxes work, and educate the community at the same time. And I can make a whole lot of money without doing anything illegal. So all of that together kind of was like, it was just a no-brainer. I was able to put everything that I went to school for, everything I worked for. I worked in banking for 10 years, like I said, and I can use my degree and just put it all together into one field. So instead of just, giving people a tax refund, I could say, this is what you're getting and this is the reason why. Or let's do some tax planning to show you how to get more money in the future. So I think my passion for education and research kind of led to me being in a position in a place that I'm in right now. And I don't go to jail, and I can keep other people out of jail.
Amen.
For me, the skills I identified with myself was my resilience. I've always been a go-getter. I've always been ambitious. Even when I wasn't doing the right things, everything I did, I always dominated it. So I was like, okay, when you weren't, being, too legal, you still dominated that. So you have no choice but to use that to now dominate what you're currently doing. And I've always had the gift of influencing others as well. So I think all of that put together, prepared me for entrepreneurship. Fakila, did you go?
You don't be influencing people. You be telling people what to do. You be like, do this, do that. I be like,
Yeah.
bro.
And I think I'm just confident because I'm a Leo. So, I just want to add that in there.
Next question, ladies. Did you have any doubts or fears about starting your own business? How did you overcome that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Uh yeah, it took me like 2 years. Like it's one thing, okay, I took my last job, just for example. I took it in 2016. I knew at the time that I didn't even really want the job. I just needed something to pay the bills. But I knew the entire time that it was not gonna be where I was gonna be long term. But my issue why I stayed there for 4 years before I quit was because I didn't have the faith in myself. Um, I don't know if y'all remember, like maybe it was my second year at OST at one of the conferences we went, and my first time speaking on the stage. I know y'all remember all of us was up there. Uh, Sharina said, you have to bet on yourself, and at that time I hadn't quit my job yet. But she said you have to bet on yourself. And that stuck with me so long, y'all. Like for real. It took me so long to really I just kept hearing her say that in my head, like bet on yourself, bet on yourself. And it really helped hearing somebody else have that what is it? That they saw it in me before I even saw it in myself. Um, so for me, it was like I was scared. It was apprehension. Like, what if I fail? Like, I can't fail. I got all these kids. I can't like, I gotta keep this job for so long. That was my mentality until I heard her say that. And then other things started coming into my path, like in my other business, the insurance business, we got to read like different books about developing yourself as an entrepreneur. Those things make a difference in your mentality, and it gave me the courage to be like, you know what, maybe I can do this. So I went from no, I can't do this to maybe I can do this. And making my income making my income that year in 2021 like double by the time April came, it kind of put the icing on the cake for me. Like, oh, you definitely can do this. And that's what gave me the courage to go and put faith in myself. And it was a wrap after that.
Yeah. For me, um, just like Sharita had said, what Sharina had said about bet on yourself. It was the time whenever I had my first Super Saturday in New Orleans, and Mowbray put me front and center in front of everybody in the room. Y'all, I haven't spoken in front of people before. I had stage fright, still kind of have it now. But he believed in me more than I believed in myself. And y'all, I go into this business scared every day. He told everybody in the room, Kelly gonna do this and she gonna do that. And I'm up there like, I am? Like he knew that I was gonna be this big deal. And y'all, I only just did about 75 clients that season. But he knew that something big was coming. It was gonna be a big deal. And I took that as, because I never had nobody to believe in me as much as he did. And it really helped me. I'm like, well, I have to prove him right. And I'm still afraid. I'm afraid every year, and I'm still growing in this industry because the person that I desire to be, and I tell people, I said, if you're not afraid to do the things that if you're not afraid doing it, then sometimes it's not going to go as well. You don't have that drive. So you have to be afraid. You have to be scared. You can't go into it being cocky and everything, because it's like, you lose that desire. So, just always be afraid and do the things that you're afraid to do. do the things that you're afraid to do, because when you do that, you're gonna always succeed. Always. Next.
I go next. I remember like doubting myself because I had started like in with the travel agency, and it was like a big old wave of like everybody was becoming a travel agent and booking trips, and that like instilled a lot of the self-development, and like I learned about mentorship and stuff like that. I remember like me and my husband driving from North Carolina, small town friendly, to Baltimore, Maryland for this travel conference, and like seeing everybody like up on the stage and telling their story and stuff like that. And I had a feeling like this is gonna be me one day. Like I thought it was gonna be in the travel stuff. And I remember my mentor like pulling me to the side, like, just telling me to stick with it, that if I ever found anything that was like this was like I guess a MLM, like a multi-level marketing type travel agency thing. She was like, if you ever find something like this that's in taxes, you are gonna kill it. You're gonna be a quiet storm. You are gonna just like blow everybody out of the way because taxes. This travel is something different for you. And like I took that, and first I was like discouraged because I was like, I'm not gonna find nothing like that. And I thought with Jackson Hewitt that I was gonna do it. And I remember sitting at my desk like Googling how much my supervisor made. The guy that was like coming in there telling me what to do, making my schedule and all this other stuff. And he was way younger than me. He hadn't even been doing taxes that long and stuff. Googling how much he made and trying to figure out how long it was going to take me to get to his salary, and then just starting on my breaks, like writing down like I need to do this, I can do this. If I have a team of this many people, then we can make this much money, and I can get them incentives and stuff like that. So just the doubt of like failure and stuff that like set with me. But I remember like that first OST live, um before that, when we first started the season, um Mowbray was like, if you'll commit like 24 months to OST. And that was my problem. I couldn't never commit to nothing like the travel stuff, everything. I was like, if it didn't take off quick enough, like I had to have 4 or 5 different plans and stuff. And people be like, oh, I'm a jack of all trades but a master of none, or like whatever that little phrase is or whatever. But just like that discouraged me. So once I started like taking off and one stop and stuff, and I remember them calling me like all out of order the first OST live, and I was the first person to speak, and I was like so nervous, and I'm country as hell, like nobody is gonna relate to me or anything. But I just remember like literally like speaking all this into existence and stuff. All that I remember being little in church and them saying that fear was false evidence appearing real. So all that fear and doubt and stuff that I had like in the other opportunities and stuff, that was just like false evidence. Like I really could do it.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Let me go ahead and go.
Go ahead.
For me, I definitely was afraid, even though I know I made that promise to God, I'm still in flesh, so I definitely was afraid. But honestly speaking, Sharita was my motivation. When she quit her job, and I was like, dang, she worked for the VA and she quit. How she do it? And she got more kids than me. I got one minor child. I'm like, Kayla, really, like, there's no excuse. And kind of like she stated earlier, all the jobs you had kind of gets you to the point you're at now. So in order for my own mental to be like, okay, don't freak out, I applied everything that I learned at those jobs and put it into my business. I made sure I had an accountant, for my income, make sure business was separate from personal. I made sure I set up payroll because I'm used to having the check come in every 2 weeks. So I was like, I don't want to freak myself out. So let me pay myself a certain amount every 2 weeks. But I had to put those things in place because I still internally had that fear. But had it not been for Sharita stepping out on faith and doing what she did, quitting her job with the amount of children she had and moving to a whole other city and state where she knew I had absolutely no excuse whatsoever. I was like, you know what? I got this. I'm going to do it. And then if I don't do it, Sharita gonna have to take care of me. So yes, that's pretty much how that works for me.
That was cool because we had room for you, sis. It's whatever.
Okay, well, mine was, yes, I was scared. I was scared to death because I had no money and I just quit this job that I was working 14 years, making, good money, and I had no money saved and I just quit. So my mama freaking out, my dad freaking out, everybody freaking out, like, what you gonna do? So I had no doubt but to show up, in the entrepreneur world and run my business. And me taking on the entrepreneur so serious and letting my clients know, like, this is the real deal for me. So I was afraid to increase my prices, and I wish I would have, but hey, you live and you learn. So yeah, that was like the main thing for me, was just those two things. But I had the faith because I walked out on faith, so I had nothing but faith that I was going, do it. It may have been slow for me in the beginning, which it was, but it took off from there. And like I keep telling y'all, it's up from there.
Absolutely not stuck, baby. We only going higher. So for me, I don't recall really being fearful. Like a lot of these ladies, I totally jumped out on faith. And that same day that I decided to fire my jobs, I actually got my first client a couple hours after that. So I kind of took that as a sign from God, like, look, it's gonna work out. It always works out. And that just pushed me now to say, okay, if I can at least earn my weekly check from this business opportunity, I'll be good. And I just focused on just earning my weekly check and just taking it one day at a time, keeping a positive mindset, having faith, and doing the production. And yeah, that was it. So it wasn't really much fear. It was a lot of anxiousness. A lot of people around me was fearful. They were scared. They were looking at me like I was crazy. Like, girl, you just fire these 3 jobs. You have no money saved. You just spent your last money. What are you thinking? But something deep down inside of me knew that it will all work out. Now, the next question is, were there any influential figures or role models in your life who inspired you to become an entrepreneur? If so, how did they influence your decision?
I could go first with that one because I didn't have we in my family, just like who said it? I think Aisha said, or one of y'all said that it was, you had to get a job and that's all you know. I think it was Kayla that said that. Yeah. You had to get a job. And so that's all I knew. Y'all, I truly, my goal when I turned I said when I turned 18, I'm going to get me a house. The house was in public housing, the housing authority. I was going to get on food stamps because this is all I knew. Get a job, make $7.25 an hour, and live paycheck to paycheck. Y'all, I had never had anybody in my life, no one to tell me there's you could actually make money other besides going, clocking into a job. There's other ways to make money. You could actually do that. You don't have to, I never had a role model. I just knew deep inside of me that it was something more bigger out there for me. And I still to this day, I cannot believe that I desired to live in public housing. And that was my goal. Y'all, I decorated the house.
It's not just you.
I decorated the house in my head. Y'all, I decorated it.
That's growth, sis. That's some real growth right
It's
there.
ridiculous, but yeah, definitely growth. And I'm so happy that I changed my mindset, and I'm able to inspire people in my family that, yeah, there's a different road that we could take, and not live under that generational curse that you have to work for the white man. I don't want to say the white man, but y'all know, for the man. You, yeah. So I definitely broke a lot of generational curses in my family. Yeah.
I'll go next. So for the people that did not have that influential person, I did not have someone that I aspired to be like, a mentor. I had no one. Um, I knew because I didn't have anyone, it had to be me. You become what you need, right? So I again, speaking to people that don't have that role model, but you know it's something that you have to do, that you want to do. You everything that you see that's being brought to you, it leads you to that same decision. Become that person. Stay true to yourself, and always listen to that person that's at the back of your head, in the back of your mind, that's speaking to you. I heard you say all the time, I had a little voice telling me that I was gonna do something awesome, amazing in this lifetime. And I silenced her a while, while I was going through, life, but she was still there the whole time. So pay attention to that voice. It's there for a reason. And again, if you cannot find somebody that's influential in your life like that, you become it. That was my experience.
Okay, I'll go. Okay, so yes, again, I didn't have that entrepreneurship mentorship in my family as well. So but just me experiencing and being around these lovely ladies, little do y'all know, y'all influenced me a whole lot. I take a little from, everybody, every one of you, guys on here. And I may not say it often, I may not show it, but I do. I appreciate all of you ladies for keeping me going, because y'all really do motivate me. Y'all keep me on my toes, y'all stay on my head, all of that. So yeah, I really, really do appreciate, and I love y'all for that. So this is my mentorship and my entrepreneur family right here, because I don't have that inside of my real family. So yeah, you guys keep me going.
I think my influences was like sort of good and bad, because like I said, my grandpa, he did brick, and so he was always doing his own little thing, but it was sort of like contracting like somebody else's job. People would come and get him to like show them how to lay brick, or for him to come do the job, but it was all like under the table type stuff. So we always lived in like on like housing, and like in the same apartment. My grandma still live in the same apartment. Like it's one of my goals to buy that whole like apartment complex, because they've been there since I was 5 years old, and I'm like 40, so that's a long time. That's a lot of rent and stuff. And like, so my grandpa was doing his side hustle and stuff. My mom was like selling drugs and doing stuff. But I would see like we when I went to her house, it was like fast money, um, nice things. It was a different lifestyle, like a different experience. Like whenever, but I live with my grandparents, so I seen like both sides of it. But they also like let me know like what she doing is not is not legal. Don't tell nobody what your mama do. I remember my little brother one time writing a paper. They said, what's in your mama's purse? And he wrote, my mom has a lot of doughs, and he could spell and stuff good, so they didn't know really what he was saying. He was saying she got a lot of money in her in her purse. So like seeing her make that money and being able to go out and like buy 6 kids, like, whatever we wanted and stuff like that, and like not really need a man for nothing, that like motivated me too. Then like Aisha said, these ladies that's on the call, like I remember my first encounter with Ariesa. I remember my first encounter with all these ladies and stuff. Some of them was awkward and stuff like that, but I remember our trip to Chicago and us sit and actually like talking about our goals and stuff and the areas that I wasn't like that I was lacking in. You guys, it was like, oh, Kayla knew how to do this, or Sharita knew this, and Kelly was real good at this, like just different stuff. And then whenever I got into like Rich University, Ariesa was killing the Airbnb thing. I was like, I gotta get in with her, like just being drawn to you guys, like we all like feel like we need a mentor, but we all coaching each other in some kind of way and like pushing each other, like, and I'm glad like we found each other, like whatever the situations, we done been through some stuff in this little bit of time, but we found each other and I'm happy about it because that's what other women need. They need somebody to say like, no, you can't go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs this week. Like we got stuff to do. Like we need people that can be real with us and stuff like that and push us like to our destiny. So that y'all been a motivating force to me.
Me personally, I didn't have anybody either to look up to in the entrepreneur realm except my cousins, but they sell drugs. Then my grandma, she used to sell drugs. Then my mama, she owned drugs, but she sell drugs too.
Killer
So
K. Killer K.
everything I saw was illegal. So I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. I promise you, I'm like, anything making money on the side is absolutely illegal. Then I sold a little drugs and I was like, that's just what it was. So I was like, I have nobody to look up to. But my auntie, she wasn't an entrepreneur, but she's a teacher. And she has a beautiful home in Mississippi. And her son is a teacher. His wife is a teacher. Her other son is a teacher. His wife is a nurse. I was like, I want that. I don't want to be a teacher, but because my patience is thin. My patience is thin. But I do want that. So thanks to this sisterhood, it gave me other people to be able to network with and get ideas and opportunities from. And then since then, I've branched out and met other people in entrepreneurship world, in life insurance industry and coaching industry. And I'm just continuing to level up. And I realized that it is people who make a lot of money legally. So I love it. But no, I didn't have anybody but my auntie, but she's a teacher.
I cannot. Kayla, you making us laugh till week 5, for real. Now, like these ladies said, prior to getting into entrepreneurship, I did not have any influential figure, anyone that I looked up to per se. It wasn't until I actually became an entrepreneur and I got connected to coaches, mentors, my sisters that actually helped me and pushed me and continued me to actually stay focused on my end goal. So I thank you for all the connections. I believe in alignment. I believe in everything happens for a reason. I believe in everything happens how it's supposed to be. And I believe in us. Right. So did everybody go? Okay, so next question.
Girl,
I'm
it's
still
time.
laughing from Kayla.
Y'all don't know how many times our house got raided. It was just like, oh my God. We even got raided while I was pregnant. I was just like, no, I'm just trying to go to school. They even searched me. I'm just like, come on now. I'm 16 years old.
Rita, how many questions you got?
Man, I still don't believe you, Kayla.
You definitely had to break a
add my
generational
mama
curse.
to this call. We can add my mama to this call.
Breaking a generational curse was definitely in your plan, honey.
Kayla said, I'm not going to jail.
We not doing that.
Yeah, the police pushed me down on a bike when they came and raided the house. I'm just like, bro, I'm just trying to get my backpack so I can go to the bus stop.
Backpack full of dope, Kayla.
No, I was a straight A student on a roll, baby. I graduated.
Columbiana.
No, they had the drugs in the backpack.
I didn't do that till I moved to the project.
That's why they wouldn't let you get the backpack, because you was the ring leader. You was the smart one. You was the smart one of the bunch.
I remember the police told my grandma, just because you blind don't mean you can't go to jail. I said,
Oh,
Damn.
Oh,
I
that's
ain't gonna
cold
do
blooded.
it like that.
Raising Canaan.
Kayla.
Raising Kayla.
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all.
Y'all don't
We can't
believe
even,
me?
we can't even get
Add
to
my
the last
mama to the
question.
call.
Oh, all right,
I
Ariesa.
believe you. I believe you, sis. I believe you. It's just
We
it's
believe
real
you.
shocking right now.
But
I believe
that's
you, but
funny.
it's
That's
You
new
gotta let
news. That's new news, Kayla. We
fun
That's
fact.
new news. I
we
didn't
didn't
know
know
that.
that.
Every
Fun
time I
fact.
get that's new news, I thought you knew. My
We did not.
apologies. Non-shock factor tonight. My bad.
All right, so our last questions for the night. So looking back on your journey, what advice would you give to women who are considering entrepreneurship but are unsure if it's right, if it's the right path for them?
I'm going first. Nope, I beat y'all. Stop. Okay.
I feel my answer. I feel
You
it in my
said- okay, I'm not watching. Watch this.
Okay.
My advice to someone that's looking to get into entrepreneurship but don't have like you don't have that mentor, that coach or whatever, I say just go around as many entrepreneurs as possible. You have to put them in your circle. It's so important, even if they're not in your field or what you want to do, that particular industry. Get around entrepreneurs because just the conversations are different. I promise, like come hang out with us. You know, we are all entrepreneurs. You're gonna hear language, you're gonna hear words, you're gonna hear a whole vibe that's gonna make you feel like you can do it. So surround yourself with those people that you need. Get rid of all those negative Nancy's, all the people that you know them people that want to take from you, the people that never pour into you. Get rid of the people that are just super negative. They don't want anything for themselves. That'll tell you, you know, you need that job or whatever. Just get a whole new set of friends if that's the case. You have to put people intentionally around you to do that. And then also pick up a book. You know, they say if you want to hide something from a brown person, put it in a book, right? Pick up a book. It's so many different books. We'll start dropping them in the group to just put you into that mentality to where you change how you think, because how you think is so very important. It'll be the reason why you won't succeed or the reason why you will. Just having the right mentality. So the people, and pick up a book and read, and go attend a conference or two. You know, always go do something different. Go meet some new people. You know, I had to let some people go to let a few people in, and it made sense. It made sense. So that's my advice to you, ladies.
I'll go next.
Oh, golly.
I'll go.
Okay.
Hit the buzzer.
Just finding something that you love to do. I would hate for you to go into entrepreneurship and, do, because you have to try, but, just to go into it just for the money, because money isn't going to make you happy. So find something that you actually have a passion for and that you love to do, and start off with that. And then you'll never know exactly what you would find, what you would find from that. So that's what I would say. That, of course, and self-development. Like Sharita said, I came across the Instagram thing yesterday, and that man said most millionaires read a new book every single week. Every single week. And they are all self-development books. So find something if you don't have anybody to pour into you, pour into yourself, and then just take it from there.
Arkila, you could go.
Okay, I was gonna say like don't lose that no new friends mentality. Like Sharita said, get in the rooms that you don't think you're qualified for, get around people that you think that are on your level. Most of the time, like you figure out that yeah, they might make a lot of money, but they down to earth, like they got their own issues and stuff too. And like show up as your future self. A lot of times like stuff will be going on and you got to just show up as your future self, like as the future millionaire, as the CEO. You got to show up as that, like talk positive to yourself, like positive self-talk, because we already got enough and enough negative people around us. Talking positive to yourself, like, you know, if however you get it, like if it's through scripture, affirmations, you know, journaling, whatever, but have a moment of gratitude and positive self-talk, like even if it's like just meditating and stuff, but just that time to yourself positively, thinking about what you're gonna do and how you're gonna do it and how you know that it's gonna happen. Like that feeling, like if you want $1 million, like just have that feeling about your business and about like all the areas of your life, like you're gonna live in a state of like joy and peace and stuff. Like just keep thinking positive even whenever stuff is going on around you, because anytime something bad is happening, like it's because better's coming. That's how I feel. Like just stay positive, stay around people who lift you up, because you know there's enough negative people out there.
Yeah, just like all of these ladies said, definitely you have to surround yourself around positive people. You have to become the person who you want to do business with. And I tell my team that all the time, become that person who you want to do business with. And like I said it before, whatever you're afraid of, go after your fears. And it's, you know, it always works. I use that in my day-to-day ritual, everything that I do. I'm just totally afraid to do a lot of things, if y'all don't believe it or not. But yeah, and everything else what these ladies said. So I don't want to keep it too much longer. You can go ahead, Aisha.
Yeah, and also, you know, same thing that they say. They telling y'all exactly what to do. Trust me, I'm taking pointers to myself still. But just be consistent. Be consistent and make sure whatever it is that you're doing, you have the passion to do it, because that's the only way that it's gonna succeed, if you have the passion and the drive to do it. And know your reason why you want to do it. Like, what's your why? You know what I mean? Like, we all doing this for a reason. It can't only just be for the money. You got to have a reason on why you want to become an entrepreneur. So yeah.
Definitely. I cannot say it any better. All these ladies had great points. Just to top it all off, just put yourself where you see yourself, change your mindset, change your environment, get connected to the people who you aspire to be like, and just shift your whole life. That's the moral of the story, right? Sharita, back to you.
Okay, so that is our episode of is it time to become CEO? You guys, we appreciate you for stopping by real quick for y'all like leave us and stuff. Let me tell y'all what next week's topic is gonna be. One second, give me 1 second, 1 second. So next week we are gonna be talking about
Make it good, girl. Not
some
this one.
some juicy. We need one of them again, don't we?
Yeah, we need something good.
Juicy topic.
Oh, let's see what we got.
Sleeping with the enemy.
We have. You want to do that one? We want to do that one. Hey, I'm open.
What
I'm
else
open.
we got? What
Okay,
else
so
is there?
next we had co-parenting with an impossible parent. We
Huh,
had
I've got one of those.
we had selfish care days, how to and what to. And then we have a topic about teen sex. Those are the next three options. I'm open to, maybe we can vote on it. What do you guys
four
in the
now,
audience think?
since Kelly added hers in there.
Oh,
That
what she
makes
said?
four.
Four.
Sleeping with the enemy.
No,
Sleeping
that's
with
on
the
our
enemy.
list. It's just,
I know.
yeah.
It's
It's
just
just
down
way
there.
down there in
It's
there.
down there. It's way down there.
It's way down in there.
She ready.
Oh, I mean, I'm ready. Y'all got.
She's ready to tell a story.
She ready to tell her story.
Got to get it off my chest.
No, but you know what? That is a very good talk. I wouldn't mind. Like,
So if we did sleeping with the enemy, like, I need details. Who's
so
the enemy?
sleeping with the
It
enemy
was
would
almost
be
like drugs related, you know.
when the person that you're with
Yeah.
is ultimately an enemy, not enemy like that, but like
So
maybe
like
they're in.
basically they don't mean you no good.
Yeah, in a nutshell. In a nutshell,
Okay.
yes. Yes, we all been in one of those relationships, you know. It looked nice, but all the red flags was there, and we still proceeded. You know that.
Juicy topic.
Okay.
It can be
Yes.
very juicy. Like,
Because when you all in that love stage and you just don't see these red
The red
flags that's
flag.
just pointing
Yeah.
to you.
I call it the movie preview. When the movie first come on, you see the preview look juicy and real good, and not till you get to the plot.
right.
Like,
The thick
woo!
plot. The thick plot.
LaPoya crazy. She said she can't wait to hear my story because as a fellow Gemini, she a Gemini,
Well, you know what? Let's do that. Let's do that as the next
Yeah.
topic. And we're gonna let Kelly be the host of that one. That's what we're gonna do. Kelly,
Kelly.
Kelly's gonna be the host on the next
Yeah, get your
topic.
questions ready.
Sleeping with the enemy, and I would like the audience to have a question. We're gonna start and looking in our comments, and we want you guys to engage with us. And we're gonna pick a couple questions from tonight's chat. If you have an idea or something you want to ask that's on that topic, and remember, it's when you're in a relationship with someone that doesn't mean any good. I say they're bad for your health. We've all been in that relationship.
Health, wealth.
How did you know? Like, when did you know? Why did you ignore it? Like, all of that is so very important. I think it's going to make for a really great topic.
I
Okay.
think so.
So we'll meet right back here on Friday next week, which is the 19th of January at same time. And we got a story to tell. All of us.
Same bat
have
time,
stories.
same bat channel.
We got ish to get off our chest.
You got ish to get off.
I'm sitting here trying to. I'm trying to think of the enemy right now. I'm like, who
to
that's
tell my story.
For real. Like, who that's for?
Right. Part of it is for me. Wait till y'all hear my story. So we're going to let you guys go for the evening. I'm going to go ahead and stop the live stream. Give me 1 second. And that live stream is stopped. You ladies, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.